When it comes to Joni Mitchell, many people think of her as one of the greatest musicians and poets of the 20th century, the author of such legendary songs as Both Sides Now and A Case of You. But behind this creative persona lies a story that has long been overshadowed by her musical career, the story of her relationship with her daughter, Kilowan Gibb. When Joni Mitchell was still a young but already promising singer, she was faced with a difficult choice. On February 19, 1965, at the age of 21, she gave birth to a daughter by artist Brad McMutt. The girl was named Kelly Dale Anderson. The birth was complicated. On this, Mitchell had to spend 10 days in the hospital. All this time, the father of the child did not see her even once. At that time, her career has not yet received the proper scope, and the situation was complicated by the lack of support from the family. Mitchell herself revealed that having a child ruined her socially. The child became a stigma that depressed her and kept her from moving on. But in the beginning, the future singer didn't give up. She closed her eyes to all the taunts from friends and family. In a desperate attempt to save her child, Mitchell even agreed to a marriage of convenience with folk singer Chuck Mitchell. Though, as Mitchell tells, this marriage was doomed to be a complete failure from the start. In the end, a failed marriage, misunderstandings with relatives, and dreams of a solo career forced Joni to make a hard decision: to give his daughter up for adoption. Mitchell's daughter was adopted by David and Ida Gibb, teachers in Toronto who already had a son, David. They changed her name from Kelly Dale to Kiloran Gibb and didn't tell her she was adopted until many years later. The daughter's separation was a turning point in the singer's life and, as a result, in her work. The decision to give up the child left a deep trace in the soul of Joni. Many of her songs of those years are imbued with a sense of loss, loneliness, and longing, which may be a reflection of her inner conflict and regrets about the choice she made. On her fourth album, Blue, Mitchell included a song called Little Green about her daughter, whom she named Kelly. This song perhaps most candidly deals with the theme of separation from her daughter. The lines, "You're sad and you're sorry, but you're not ashamed, little green, have a happy ending. Call her green and the winters cannot fade her. Call her green for the children who have made her." One can feel the deep sadness associated with the forced decision, but also the hope for a better future for the child. There were many other songs on the Blue album that clearly illustrated feelings of loss and guilt. Joni Mitchell has often said in interviews that the guilt and sadness associated with this act has accompanied her throughout her life. However, it was these emotions that became one of the powerful drivers of her creativity. In her songs, Joni found a way to express pain and longing, which in turn made her music even more heartfelt and candid. She wrote about separation, loss, and complicated relationships, which certainly reflected her personal tragedy. As the years passed, Joni achieved incredible success, becoming a cult figure in the world of music. But despite the recognition and love of millions, there was still a void inside her that neither fame nor art could fill. In 1996, Mitchell told the New York Times that she had given her daughter up for adoption. The singer then stated that she wished she could find her daughter, especially after the adoption story was officially revealed. In response, Mitchell fan Wally Breeze created a website to help filter out people with a real chance of being the singer's daughter from the crowd of people claiming to be her. Incredibly, it worked. A friend was browsing the site and advised Gibb to contact him because of the similarities in their looks, and because some of the details of Mitchell's story matched what Gibb knew about her biological parents. In 1997, the long-awaited reunion took place. Joni Mitchell and her daughter, then a model and actress Kilowan Gibb, finally met. This meeting was a moment of truth for both of them. For Joni, it was a chance to try to recapture lost years and rebuild a relationship. For Kilowan, it was a chance to learn the truth about her origins and understand why her mother abandoned her at an early age. After reuniting, their relationship wasn't easy, which isn't surprising given the years of separation. However, the experience helped Joni reevaluate many aspects of her life and career. In the following years, her music became softer and more peaceful. She returned to her roots and reconsidered her creativity. Despite the so-called happy ending in this story, many journalists still wonder whether Joni Mitchell would have succeeded if she had not given her child up for adoption. On the one hand, it could be argued that the decision to give the child up for adoption freed Joni from serious responsibilities, allowing her to focus solely on her career. In those days, it would have been extremely difficult for a single young mother to find a balance between raising a child and building a music career, especially given the instability and uncertainty that accompanied her at the time. On the other hand, the price Joni paid for her success was extremely high. The loss of her child left a deep wound in her soul, which seems to have been reflected in her work over the years. This pain became a source of inspiration for many of her songs, giving them a special depth and emotional power. Perhaps it is this complexity and tragedy of her personal history that has made her music so heartfelt and close to her listeners. It could be said that Joni's act did play a role in her professional success, as without a child in her arms, she was able to devote herself entirely to music. However, it also means that her success came at the expense of personal sacrifice, which makes her story both inspiring and tragic. In the end, even Joni Mitchell herself admitted that she had a hard time answering that question. In any case, fans of the singer should consider this story not only about separation and reunion, but also about personal growth. Joni Mitchell has come a long way from a young mother forced to abandon her child to a mature woman who found the strength to admit her mistakes and try to correct them. This experience has certainly influenced her work, making it deeper and more multi-layered. Perhaps it is this tragic story that gives Joni's music that special power that touches the hearts of her listeners to this day. After all, her songs are not only melodies, but the whole spectrum of human emotions, from the pain of loss to the joy of reunion. And perhaps this is the main lesson of her life. It is important not only to create, but also to find ways to forgive and understand, even if it takes a lifetime. If you want to know the full biography of Joni Mitchell, then be sure to check out the biographical video about her on my channel. That video is coming to your screens right now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to learn interesting facts about stars of the past.